A very good afternoon to you from Celtic Park. Celtic prepare to host Dundee United on a bitterly cold afternoon in Glasgow. The light show is on just now. The two sets of players are out onto the pitch. The two captains down there, Ross Docherty to the right and Callum McGregor to the left, exchanging handshakes with the referee Nick Walsh, as Dundee United look to try and win an away game against Celtic for the first time in what would be 52 attempts, dating all the way back to Boxing Day 1992 when Duncan Ferguson scored the winning goal. They are, of course, though, one of the sides that have actually taken something off the champions this season when they did so in that goalless draw at Tannadice just before Christmas. The Celtic players going into their huddle, unusually for them, after the coin toss, they're going to shoot right to left towards the Jock Stein west end of the stadium in the green and white hood shirts, white shorts, white socks. Dundee United in their famous tangerine and black. Schmeichel in goal for the hosts, Ralston, Carter Vickers, Trusty and Schlupp, McCowan, McGregor, Hatate, Yang, Jota, Ida for United. Walton in goal, back four, Arabayega, Gallagher, Graham and Stevenson. They've got Chevy, Docherty, Campbell, Fotheringham and Sam Dalby leading the line as the game gets underway. There's some smoke from a pyrotechnic off to our left, drifting across the left-hand side of the pitch as Celtic pick it up with Carter Vickers, and he squares it short to Trusty and out to Jeffrey Schlupp, who makes his first league start for Celtic this afternoon, having started the cup tie against Raith Rovers. And he's in for Greg Taylor at left back. 5 changes in total for Celtic from the side. It was eventually narrowly beaten by Bayern Munich. That late Maida goal's given them some hope of overturning that on Tuesday, albeit the odds will be very much against them. But for Dundee United, 4 alterations from their last game, and as Brendan Rodgers was at pains to say, they've played 4 times since Dundee United were last in action, having been knocked out of the Scottish Cup by their neighbours a few weeks ago. It's with Trusty, squares it to Carter Vickers. Pat Nevin with Liam McLeod with you for this commentary this afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and in medium wave. Pat, what kind of game are you expecting here today? Similar to what we saw between the sides last month?
Possibly, but if you look at, you were absolutely right, spot on earlier on. You were talking about Dundee United. They have lined up in a very straight 4-4-2. No 3 at the back, so that's quite brave. You're going to be leaving Campbell and Dalby up front. So, you know, if you're leaving 2 up front, or well, trying to leave 2 up front, to be fair, against Celtic, you're going to have a bit of a go at it. So it could be a wee bit more open game than people suspect.
Assumed it would be Fotheringham pushing up there with Dalby. It is Alan Campbell, the new signing, who's gone down, and he's got the free kick as well on this near side. I know this is something Craig Brown used to talk about, just the mind games, turning teams, making them slightly more uncomfortable. Does it make a hoot of difference?
Yes, absolutely. If I was captain playing away from home, I would always turn the team, if it's humanly possible, turn them to play the way they don't want to play. Just slightly upsets them, psychologically very annoying. And remember, most teams like turning up the gas near the end of a game, going the same way. Celtic will have to do that the different way this time.
Free kick United, which Docherty takes and switches it to Ross Graham, who's headed into the Celtic box, is headed away by Carter Vickers. Nodded back forward by Gallagher out to the left-hand side of the area. Dundee United looking to make inroads here. They've lost their last 3. Well, it all breaks down at the edge of the box. Celtic clear. Gallagher can thump it forward again and out to the right-hand side, and an opportunity perhaps here for Kai Fotheringham, though he can't keep it in play. And it will be a goal kick to Celtic. Bright start by Dundee United. We've played 2.5 minutes, nothing each in these very early stages. I will do my utmost to keep you up to date with what's going on across the country, across the 4 divisions of the SPFL as we go along. 4 matches in the Premiership. A Schlupp dinks it down the left-hand touchline, and Jota's got it under control, wearing the number 7, which has of course been adorned by some serious Celtic legends down the years, the likes of Larsson and Dalglish. Jota already a bit of a legend here, of course, as it's switched out to Ralston on the right. Now he's found Yang, who made a positive cameo against Bayern Munich, I thought, on Wednesday evening, as Callum McGregor picks up and plays it short along the grass with a left foot to the right touchline for Ralston. Infield to McCowan and back out to Yang, who scampers infield, flicks it with the outside of the boot, looking for McCowan, the former Dundee captain, up against United here. United get it clear out to this near side, and Austin Trusty picks up the scraps and rolls it infield to Carter Vickers. Indeed, Luke McCowan was a scorer in the dark blue of Dundee against United on the opening weekend of the Premiership season. Celtic crossing from the right with Ralston, too high for Hatate. It's half away. Schlupp picks up and rolls it wide left for Jota. Level with the United penalty spot. Now he's level with the 6-yard line. It's a good teasing ball in, which Ida glances away from goal. Luke McCowan's managed to keep it in play. Out to the right-hand side. Ralston's ball in is battered clear by Ross Graham, one of the players who's come into the Dundee United side this afternoon. Switch back out to the left for Jota. He's level with the edge of the D of the United box and finds Schlupp, who will play the simple ball back there to Trusty, and then the low pass back out to Jota, wide in the left. Now he's going to try and take on Fotheringham again. Little reverse for Schlupp at the byline, pulls it across, and he does off target with the first time effort. 6 yards from goal. It stays Celtic 0, United 0. That's the first time really that Celtic have flickered into life in the attacking third, and they did it with menace, Pat.
They certainly did on the left-hand side here. Now Jota playing on the left here. Very interested watching Schlupp, because having watched him before quite a lot, he likes to go up and down the pitch, often overlapping. Not here. He's underlapping. He's immediately going inside Jota, giving them different options in that direction. And if those two can get some sort of understanding between them, there's an awful lot of quality. So no surprise that the first real opportunity came from that left-hand side for Celtic.
The old after the Lord Mayor's show for Queen's Park. They're 1-0 down early at home to Hamilton at Hampden in the Championship. And that the first goal scored in the SPFL. In fact, Airdrieonians have gone 1-0 up early against Morton as well. Also in the Championship, Morton 0, Airdrieonians 1, and Queen's Park 0, Hamilton Accies 1. No goals early on in the Premiership games, including here, and it's Jota for Celtic, flicking it with the outside of the boot to the left-hand side, byline there for Ida, fires it across, and Alan Campbell's there to take a touch, facing his own goal, hooks it over his head and clears. Fotheringham dumps it forward, but Carter Vickers can nod it all the way back there to Schmeichel. I have to say, on paper, Alan Campbell's an excellent signing for Dundee United, Pat. You'll have watched lots of him in his time at Motherwell. Obviously, had that spell down at Luton Town.
But they have got, I think the strength and depth at Dundee United is very, very good.
Absolutely,
particularly up front, they've got players who can score goals. The problem is they've not been doing that recently. Dodgy was saying earlier on, I spotted that myself, 2 goals in the last 6 league games. Considering, that you look at the likes of Derby, you've got lots of players on the pitch perfectly capable of scoring goals as well. So the manager, he must be thinking to himself, give them some chances, which is going to be the difficulty today, and they still can score goals. At the moment, it's a little bit of a shame for Derby. He's been isolated a wee bit, but that's no surprise playing against Celtic, who most games, apart from during the week there, have domination most of the play.
They came up against a very good Bayern Munich side. That first half performance, they did well actually to hold on till the last minute. In fact, it was when the opening goal went in against them from Elise, and really they could easily have been further behind than that. And Schmeichel picks it up and rolls it short to Carter Vickers. But they're still in that tie, Pat.
Certainly are, and a lot of people looking forward to it. And the Celtic, the difficulty they've got is, these 2 huge games against Bayern Munich, as Brendan says, royalty of European and world football. But in between it, you've got to do the Dundee United job.
Yeah.
They've started okay, they start with the right attitude, and Dundee United would have expected this. They've sat back, they're organised. John Goodwin does that. He gets them well organised. And so far, no clear-cut chances for Celtic.
Trusty finds Jota on this near side and rolls it back to Trusty. It's been a very good signing actually, the Celtic number 6, and it's perhaps no coincidence that their defensive performances on the Champions League stage have improved since Trusty joined the club. Obviously they had a difficult night in Dortmund, but generally speaking they've been excellent.
Oh, his pace is brilliant. It's really noticeable. Against top level clubs you find out about pace, and he has got it to burn.
United on the ball on the right, the Ross Docherty clips it forward, Fotheringham gives chase. Trusty's there though to get it back to his goalkeeper. And Kasper Schmeichel rolls it short to the right of the D for Carter Vickers, who then finds Trusty. So 8.5 goalless minutes in here, and it's Celtic in possession with Carter Vickers out to Ralston. Rare start for him. did start the recent game at Motherwell a couple of weekends ago. And obviously Alistair Johnston's the first choice and being given the afternoon off, or certainly from the start ahead of Tuesday, as Yang picks up on the right and drifts infield and pokes it forward there to Ida. Ida's got his back to goal. He's managed to face the United goal. He digs out an effort, but it's scuffed rather. Might have taken a touch in its way through to Jack Walton, who holds on. And it's Celtic 0, United 0.
Very noticeable that on the right-hand side, Yang really gets his first piece of play there, gets out wide right. His first instinct is to go beyond players. And he went past 2 or 3, goes inside into traffic, but he asked some questions very quickly there. Jota is perfectly capable of doing that, but he's not started that way, has he? He's taken it, he's slowed it down, feeling his way inside into the game. But if you're going to beat Dundee United, with the way they organise at the back, you're going to have to ask some questions, and you're going to have to use the pace that the likes of Yang's got.
Wraith Rovers have gone in front also in the Championship against Partick Thistle in Kirkcaldy. Wraith 1, Partick Thistle 0 in the second tier. It's where the goals are right now. The Airdrieonians 1-0 up at Morton. Hamilton 1-0 up at Queen's Park. Cove Rangers 1-0 up in League 1 at home to Annans. Goalless across the board in League 2, as it is in the Premiership. Still the infancy of these matches though, as Carter Vickers rolls it from the right of the centre circle out to the touchline for Yang. Infield to Hatate. Ball forward is cut out there by Chevy. And now it is with Yang, and then to Ralston. United just keeping to their postings here, holding their lines. It's a long ball forward towards Idas, headed clear by Graham. Long clearance into the midfield, bouncing around on the far side, and it comes bouncing off Middleton and out for a Celtic throw-in level with the edge of the centre circle in front of the north stand. The Celtic, as we say, unusually in the first half, shooting right to left.
It's hard to say much about Dundee United because they haven't got a kick of the ball yet. Just the odd break now and again. Here's Jota's first opportunity to run at the defender.
Here's Jota, left-hand side of the box, low ball, short to Hatate, back to the edge of the area there, Trusty. Back to Hatate, then to Trusty's ball's too much power on it. Bounces off Schlupp and out for a throw-in to United on this near side. But Jim Goodwin will be relatively content with the fact they're 11 in, and Jack Walton's not really been overly troubled in the early exchanges.
No, there's a number of ways you could look at it. The way from Celtic point of view, you know, deliberate, controlled, mature. You could also say slow and sluggish, you know, because it really hasn't been very sparkly yet. But I suppose what you'd say then is you're playing against a team that have got 4-4-2, but that 4-4-2 is pretty deep, and it's hard to go through it quickly.
The difficulty for United is going to be sustaining that for 90 minutes and trying to keep the champions out for that length of time is no mean feat, though they did do it in that home game at Tannadice in December. There's been quick fire matches against Celtic, December, January, February. Having lost 2-0 here last month, Maidan Hatate scored the goals. Carter Vickers squares it right to left of the circle for Trusty and gets it back. The two USA defenders, McCowan is fouled there by Chevy, the Croatian, wearing the number 5, and that will be a free kick to Celtic right of the centre circle.
Very noticeable that the way Dundee United have set out, getting Campbell just to fall back a little bit and cover the space, you know, when McGregor usually controls the game.
There's McCowan rolling it to the edge of the United box for Ida. He's on the spin, his efforts blocked by Graham. Makes back to McGregor, it's a deft ball in, lob to the left of the box, looking for Schlupp, who's claiming corner, and eventually Nick Walsh agrees with the new Celtic signing, and it will be a corner on this left-hand side. He seemed irate when it was initially, at least it looked as though it had initially been given as a goal kick.
Oh, it was, the referee's given that as a goal kick, 100%. However, you see his assistant saw it better than him.
Short one by Jota to McCowan, who wins another corner immediately. Celtic have another chance on this left-hand side, on the main stand side of the pitch, and it's going to be McCowan to take this one. Looks like this one's coming straight into the box. Outswinger with a left foot, and it wasn't into the worst area, but Doherty heads it behind, and Celtic have a third corner in quick succession down on this near side, which again McCowan and Jota are over. Again, McCowan's going to, I think, try and pop this back into the area. and it comes, but it's too close to Walton, who gathers with both gloves on the 6-yard line, flops to the ground. It's Celtic 0, Dundee United 0. We've played 13 and a half.
Not the best delivery there. I think they actually kicked it out before it came back in again, so it's a goal kick for Dundee United, but very noticeable as well with Dundee United. You get the ball here, they are in no hurry whatsoever to get the game underway again. They're pushing the team up as much as possible. They're going to hit it long and try and use the power, obviously, of Dalby to try and win something or get some knock-ons.
Sometimes you need to use the dark arts when you're coming here and you're the underdogs, and Dundee United, as everyone else is, are big underdogs coming here domestically. Kilmarnock have scored the first goal of the Premiership afternoon, and Liam Polworth's got it. They lead the bottom side St Johnstone 1-0 at Rugby Park. It's goalless here as it is at Dens and Fir Park.
Kelly fan said to me just the other day, this is the most important game we've had in years. That's pushing it a wee bit, but
I would say so.
They are very, very important games. It's so tight in this league.
Yeah, from third all the way down, potentially even including St Johnstone at the bottom. Certainly between third and 11th. All those positions, all of them could change between now and the end of the season. Celtic have it with Yang over on the right of the United box. Low ball into the areas, blocked and cleared. Then he come off Chevy there. And Celtic pick it up again on the halfway line. I mean, it's wave after wave of Celtic attack here. Not really with the kind of purpose and poise that Brendan Rodgers would like to be seeing from his team as they try and break through this tangerine wall that is in front of them. And United almost exclusively playing the game with the game being played in front of them. And that's not sustainable, you suspect.
Classically, it feels as if you're watching a game, you have a crick in your neck by the end of it, because we're only watching one way at the moment, understandably.
Trusty, low ball, wide left for Jota, taking on his man, getting the left foot cross in, and it's flicked away by Ross Graham. Picked up by Ralston on the right-hand side of the area, drops the shoulder, low ball across, blocked and cleared. And it was Lucas Stevenson who got in the way of that one. Picked up by Carter Vickers and then out to McGregor, and he's lost out there to Sam Dalby. He'll be seeing precious little of the ball this afternoon, you suspect. And that's good backtracking from the big striker. And he's actually won his team a throw-in over there on the far side, nothing each.
Can be a thankless task, Liam, a very thankless task there, but you got to do it. You got to work hard, and the idea was to try and get somebody up beside him, but really he's spending a lot of time in his own up there, Dalby. But they're working to get the odd chance here and there. Intriguingly, Jota, as I mentioned before, they're playing himself into it. That was the first time we actually decided to go, not necessarily beyond this player, but settle into an early a good cross.
Here come United with Fotheringham chasing. Schlupp gets there first, claims he was fouled. The referee again agrees with Jeffrey Schlupp, and rather than a Dundee United corner, it will be a Celtic free kick deep inside their own half.
The assistant referee's in a good position there. I mean, it looked quite soft for me, but in reality, that's a mistake to give a free kick away there. The last thing Schlupp wants to do is have to play that ball, running towards his own byline, and if you give him a wee nudge, you're just giving him a get-out-of-jail card.
Carter Vickers striding forward for Celtic up towards the halfway line. Side football forward to McCowan. Now he's clipped it down the right-hand side for Yang. He's level with the 6-yard line, pulls it back and it's cleared. And behind for yet another Celtic corner. Jim Goodwin's down there. He's chatting with the fourth official, looking for a couple of answers. It's Graham Granger who's going to be listening to Jim Goodwin this afternoon down there. He's also chatting to the assistant.
I think he didn't think that was a free kick there. he was hoping to get a corner kick.
I suspect that's the point he's making. McCowan with the corner up the other end. It's headed up into the air. Walton gets a punch onto it, came off a United head, and Walton puts it behind for another Celtic corner. This is their fifth in as many minutes.
The player who has impressed me most actually has been Yang. Each time the ball's gone to him, he's looked really bright, really positive.
McCowan with the latest corner, and it comes, and it's headed away by Doherty. Jota tries to get something onto it, and then Carter Vickers lashes it high over the bar and just inside the United box, and it stays goalless in Glasgow's East End.
Yeah, but well done Dundee United. You know, they're not getting much of the ball, they're not getting up the park much as well, but they haven't moved their shape, and they've been really well structured, really well organised. That back four's tight. You know, Celtic trying to stretch them, get the both fullbacks, try and get them as wide as you possibly can. You know, Jota has to drag way left-hand side there, make the pitch as big as possible to ensure there are one or two gaps. But to be fair, Dundee United haven't left many.
No, they actually played quite well here, particularly in the first half last month. They ultimately lost the game 2-0, but it was far from their worst performance here at Celtic Park, as McGregor wins it back for Celtic midway inside his own half and gets it back to his keeper, and Schmeichel rolls it short to his left there for Austin Trusty. Low ball forward to Ida, and back to Trusty, to Carter Vickers, who's right of the centre circle, and he ushers the ball out to Yang over on that far side. And a hand in the goal, of course, the assist for Maida against Bayern on Wednesday. It's back with Carter Vickers to Trusty and forward to Schlupp, who comes into a central area. The little flick from McCowan, but Doherty's on to it. He does such an important job for this Dundee United side, as he's done for his previous clubs. And it's clipped out of play for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. Lost their last three, Dundee United, having done all the hard work and usurping Aberdeen, all those late goals they scored, but it's 3 defeats in succession. They've lost 5 of their last 6, the only exception being that late victory at St Mirren. Louis Moult scored the last knock-ins, and in so many games that Dundee United have profited from with late goals. More than half their goals have come after the 75-minute mark, which is remarkable.
Of course, Jim Goodwin knows that, and he's trying to make sure his team hold out and hold out and hold out and make some changes.
Be in the game by then. Here's Yang, though, into the United box for McCowan. Heavy touch allows Middleton to clear. It's over on the right for Celtic, Ralston, and then the ball across is cut out, and Celtic have another corner, this time won by Rio Hatate.
I just wonder if it's worth taking a short one, changing the angle once or twice. Celtic have got a number of players that can go up and attack that ball there. Trusty, obviously, Carter Vickers, we know how powerful he is in the air.
Another chance then for Luke McCowan. The possession is 89% Celtic. In it comes, little flick headers won by Trusty. United head it clear. Breaks to the edge of the box for McGregor. Back out to McCowan, left foot clip ball comes in. It's a decent delivery again, but it's a good flick away by Adebayoga. Jota turns it back to the edge of the box for Hatate's ball into the areas. Little touch from Trusty. United, I think, thought he was offside, and indeed the flag has gone up, and it remains Celtic 0, Dundee United 1. 21 minutes. Pat, look at that, 89.1% possession for Celtic.
It's extraordinary, but it's not surprising, is it? You know, with the way the game's gone just now, we're talking about the crick in our neck, just looking to our left the whole time here at Celtic Park. And even when Dundee United have got possession, does this count as possession for them? The ball isn't in play, but the goalkeeper's got it in his hands.
Look how long Jack Walton's taking as well.
Celtic fans are not happy about that, but understandable. Look, that's the game plan. It's understandable. Most teams would do that in the same situation. But if Celtic are going to get through this Dundee United team, they are going to have to lift it a little bit. They have to go to, I talk about the pace of Yang, but you're talking about the intelligence of someone who can unlock the door. And you're looking for Jota then, aren't you? You're looking for him to get the ball in dangerous positions in the final third. So far in the game, not quite enough going to Jota on this left-hand side so far.
Yeah, Celtic going up against third team in the Premiership, third best defence as it stands as well for Dundee United. Goal scoring's been a problem, and yes, they've been conceding recently as well, as McGregor picks up at the edge of the box, good play, scampering into the area onto the left foot. That's a brilliant goal from Callum McGregor. And when Celtic were facing this stubborn Dundee United rearguard, it is their captain who steps up. Brilliant jinking run into the area, and it's a really measured, calm, left-footed finish into the bottom right corner. Dundee United's plan A has been ripped up, because it is Celtic 1, Dundee United 0.
Do you know when you're looking for a jinky winger to go on a dribble from the right-hand side, left-hand side from Jota, right-hand side from Yang? No, I'll tell you what, Callum McGregor, I'll do it. He gets the ball, jinks through 2 players there, and he still gets his head up when he hits the shot there. I think it goes through the legs of the defender there, and that's why the goalkeeper doesn't see it at all. But great movement there from McGregor. Just pops up in the right area. Celtic 1-0. Oh, Dundee United are going to have to rethink this now.
Yeah, plan A's being blown down London Road right now.
I suspect plan A will stay in place for a wee while. You know, it's one goal, you know, don't panic if you're Dundee United. but eventually that's going to adapt, that's going to have to change. We shall see how quick Jim Goodwin's willing to change that.
So, deadlock broken here. It remains 1-0 Kilmarnock at home to St Johnstone, goalless at Dens. And at Fir Park, I'll take you through the other score lines as well. Ayr United have got the lead at Falkirk. What a huge goal that could be. Three-way slugfest for the championship title. Is a penalty that's been converted. We get the confirmation of the goal scorer, but Ayr United have gone 1-0 up away at sellout Falkirk. Airdrieonians leading Morton. 2-0 now Hamilton against Queen's Park. Wow.
I have to say, Ayr United, very impressed with them in the recent game against Hibernian in the Cup. Just the last minute winner from Hibernian, but Ayr United were very, very impressive that day.
Goals raining in League One. I'll bring you news of them after Dundee United take a free kick, which has just been awarded over on the left-hand side, but a yard or so away from the north stand side touchline and almost level with the 18. So it's going to be a left-footed delivery coming in here from Glenn Middleton. What can they do here? Looking for a quick-fire equaliser. In it comes. It bounces towards the back post after missing the group of players on the 6-yard line. Out to the right, Fotheringham, and bends it back in, headed back into the 6-yard area, and away it goes by McGregor, the goal scorer. And then Luke McCowan picks up getting the boos from the Dundee United fans for the former Dundee captain. It's Jay Henderson who scored that crucial goal for Ayr United. Falkirk 0, Ayr United 1. And as I said, 2-0 Hamilton at Queen's Park. Raith Rovers still have a 1-0 lead over Partick Thistle, as Airdrieonians do at Capello. In League One, Alloa 1, Kelty 0. Cove been pegged back by Annan. It's 1-1. Montrose are 2-1 up at Dumbarton, and Arbroath are 2-0 up at Queen of the South. As Celtic come forward here, Jota down the left-hand side of the box, low ball across, and Dundee United clear. In League 2, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, goalless in the other 4.
You can see Jota's warming up now. He's had a couple of goes at his defender there, which is what he has to do, but you know, he's new into the team, he's not 100% fully fit yet. I don't know if you noticed, Liam, Dundee United's corner kick from the far side over there, exactly the same corner kick in exactly the same place that Bayern Munich scored from the other night. Unfortunately for Dundee United, they don't have a Harry Kane at the back post.
No, I mean, Sam Dalby's done well this season. I'm not sure he's at that level though.
But they did exactly the same thing. They drew everyone to the front post. Someone played around the back there, but they just couldn't get it on target. So, well done, Jim Goodwin. Doing your homework, mate.
Middleton on the far side for United. Knocks it back into his own half for Stevenson, who then squares it to Graham. Low ball up towards the halfway line for Middleton, who turns it out to Stevenson on the left for the visitors. And Lucas Stevenson. Back in field it comes. Dundee United have options forward. It's Chevy, but it's a poor ball from the Croatian. He's trying to play in, Fotheringham over on the right with the switch, but it was behind for the goal kick. It stays Celtic 1, United 0. We played 26 and a half.
I mean, everything's relative. There's not that much for Dundee United to go on here. They've had that corner kick. They thought they should have had another one, but there is a little bit of gap behind Sloot. Sloot wants to get forward, and I say he wants to do that run inside. It's not an overlap, but an underlap. And I think Fotheringham's trying to see that gap a few times, and a couple of times he's been on, they haven't been able to deliver it to him yet, but there's one little chink there that maybe Dundee United can use.
United have the ball over on the left with Middleton. He's going to take on Ralston. A good game here last month. It's a good early ball in, and the little touch from Campbell takes it through to Schmeichel. Well, a better touch. He might well have been looking at an equaliser there. And that's better from Dundee United in an attacking sense. They seem to be playing with more freedom since Celtic scored the goal. As Celtic come forward, the challenge comes in from Ross Graham on Ida, and it's out for a Celtic throw-in level with the United 18 on this near side.
Absolutely nothing against Campbell, but there's a few Dundee United fans who wish it was Dolby at that front post there, because that's his meat and drink, isn't it? He absolutely eats those chances up. It was only a half chance, couldn't get the power on it.
Celtic have it with Ralston, rolls it back to Trusty, midway inside United territory. Out to the left-hand side with Jota. He rolls it back to Trusty. To Carter Vickers now, right of the circle. Now finds Ralston. He's got Yang over on the far side. Low ball out to the South Korean. And then he plays it back to Carter Vickers, just outside the centre circle. The Celtic fans were getting a little bit frustrated that they hadn't made the breakthrough before Callum McGregor found the net. 8th goal of the season for Callum McGregor. That's decent shooting. as United failed to clear. Now McGregor could be in again here, right-footed, just wide. Good play by Callum McGregor. It's that fleet-footed nature of his game. This time he's on the right, and he just puts it past the right-hand side of the goal frame, and it remains 1-0, thanks to his earlier goal.
Well, you say fleet-footed, I'd throw in twinkle-toed. That was really, really nice, quick movement with his feet, just like he did, as you say, for the first goal there. I think Callum McGregor fancies it today. He's in good form.
He's such a graceful footballer, isn't he, Callum McGregor? As the corner comes in, United tried to clear at the near post and succeeded in doing so. Doherty dinks it forward, and it's with Middleton, who's on his own at the moment, but that's a good challenge by Schlupp, who slides in and wins it back. And now it's down the right-hand touchline for McCowan, who's now moving in field. McCowan then shifts it to Jota. There's applause from the Celtic manager down there for what he is seeing. His team leading 1-0. And now it's with McGregor, forward to McCowan and then back to Trusty. Trusty's got Jota on the left-hand side of the United box. That's where it goes. Chops on to his right, bends it towards the back post area. United head half away, up to the edge of the area where the clearance is completed by Middleton, but McGregor picks it up. McGregor then, square ball, Jeffrey Schlupp rolls it out to the left-hand side for Jota. Jota's level with the penalty spot. Now he's level with the 6-yard line, looking to find space to cross. Now it's with Schlupp on the left-hand touchline. United holding their line here. Aberdeen have gone 1-0 up at Dens against Dundee. Kevin Nisbet's got the goal as Carter Vickers rolls it to Ralston. Out to the far side touchline for Yang, level with the D of the United box. It's ball in field, finds Ralston eventually, hits the byline and fires it across. It's blocked, deflected, and behind for another Celtic corner. Celtic leading 1-0 in the half hour.
The real problem down the United, well, they've got more than one, they've got quite a few problems here. They're now beginning to leave Jota alone. They're not getting close to him. You can't do that with Jota. You can't give him that much space to just go and put across him where he likes. Maybe him and Schlupp have to work a wee bit in their understanding. They run into each other, they were trying to do a little underlap.
McCowan's corner, headed away into the air by Ross Graham, out to the far side of the box. And Dundee United have got rid of it. They might get a free kick here as well, which will take the pressure off. Foul by Jota as he tried to win it back over on the far side. It is Celtic leading by 1-0. And as I was saying there, Aberdeen have gone 1-0 up against Dundee, haven't won in their last 14 league matches. Kevin Nisbet, who was on the score sheet last week against Dunfermline in the Cup, has them 1-0 up at Dens. Kilmarnock still 1-0 up on St Johnstone. Long ball here for United. Dalby flicks on. Campbell gets a little touch onto it, but can only take it through to Schmeichel. He was at the edge of the Celtic box there, and kind of went with it in a kind of timid fashion. And perhaps if he'd with a little bit more belief there, Alan Campbell, he would have got more power in it and been able to test Schmeichel. It stays 1-0 to the home team.
Liam, you are utterly spot on. I can't believe it. I can't believe we didn't go for that. It's, you know, lovely little nod on there, so you're waiting for that. If you're playing as a dual striker, Dalby wins it. Okay, you're on the half turn there, but commit to it. You've got a volley. He doesn't go for it. You're not going to get many chances in this game. Really surprised he wasn't more committed to that shot.
Here comes Celtic. Schlupp finds Jota, now left-hand side of the United box for Hatate. Level with the 6-yard line. Low ball back to Jota, who plays it back to Trusty. Squares it left to right of the circle there for Carter Vickers, who finds Ralston, who's moved in field rather. Turns it out to Yang on the touchline. Down the line it goes for McCowan. And then to Ralston, who knocks it in field there to Carter Vickers. And to Trusty. Trusty rolls it out to Jota on this left-hand side, taking on Fotheringham. So two-footed Jota, it's a little low ball in with the right, it's cleared easily by Gallagher. And Jota couldn't find anyone in green and white on that occasion.
I know that feeling from Jota there. He gets the ball, he does a beautiful little dummy. He's got Fotheringham with his back to him because the dummy's so good. Because he's a wee bit rusty, he doesn't take advantage of it. Jota at 100%. He's gone by his man there and he's put a cross in there.
Ball forward for Ida is off target and comes all the way through to Walton. So, the Premiership as it stands. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0 here. Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1. Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0. Ross County have just gone 1-0 up at Motherwell. Managerless Motherwell. in the Championship. Falkirk and Ayr United 1. Morton are level with Airdrie, 1-1 at Capello. Goalless Livingston, Dunfermline. Hamilton still 2-0 up at Queen's Park. A Celtic with Schlupp. Oh, it's not far away. Not far away at all. The left footed bending away towards the right-hand side. And Dundee United get away with it. It stays 1-0 Celtic.
Well, it's hit the post. It is going away. However, underline, said right at the start, after about a minute of this game, underlapped. And he's done it again there. Found it in a brilliant position there, Schlupp. He's about 20 yards out in a difficult angle, but what a hit that was.
Comes Celtic again. Jota, left-hand side of the United box, forced back towards the 18-yard line, and he spins 180, fires the cross in, and Ida's effort saved brilliantly by Walton. And Adam Ida's header looked goal-bound, and he's wondering how he hasn't put Celtic 2-0 up. Well, the answer is Jack Walton's feet.
Great header. That's textbook. Get power on it, get it down low, and you expect it to be in the net, but you can see it with Jota now. You know, just warming himself up. He's got himself slowly but surely into the game. They're now giving him just a little bit too much space. When they put that cross in there, that's a dream cross. An absolute dream cross from a winger, and Celtic should be 2-0 up.
Remember Jota absolutely torturing Dundee United in that 9-0 game a few seasons ago, and he's on it again here, bursting into the penalty box on the right-hand side. He shoots and scores! A brilliant goal from Jota, who might already have put this game beyond Dundee United, and we're not in the break yet. Brilliant run, trademark Jota, driving in from the left, on his right side, and he fires it home into the bottom right corner to make it Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Okay, I'm going to be a wee bit biased in favour of wingers, I'll give you that, but there's wee bits of rustiness here and there. But the intelligence of Jota to slowly but surely build himself into the game, not go 100%, but just in the last couple of minutes you're thinking, oh, he's warming up now. You can see what he's trying to do. And that is an absolutely beautiful goal there. Cuts in, you've got to say, well done from Schlupp. What he does that underlap, drags the players inside, and he understands that there's gap to run into on his right-hand side there, and he curls it effortlessly into the back post. What a lovely goal. I think the Celtic fans are quite happy to have him back.
I would have thought so. That's his first goal back at Celtic Park. He did score against Motherwell along the road at Fir Park. And that one has put Celtic 2-0 up, and Dundee United are now faced with a task if they want to get something out of this. They're going to have to score twice against a team that's only conceded twice all season at home in the Premiership. It was in the same game, wasn't it? The Sockler and Shinnie goals for Aberdeen in that 2-2 draw back in October. So that is the size of the task facing Dundee United now.
That and the fact that they've hardly got out of their own half, maybe 3 or 4 occasions. We have one of those occasions right now, but it's been incredibly tough for them. The Celtic at the start were slow, taking it easy, controlling the game. But when they get class players on the ball, when the McGregor gets on the ball, when Jota gets on the ball in the final third, you cannot leave them alone.
It was a long throw in for United into the Celtic box. It comes headed away by Hatate towards the 18-yard line. Campbell heads it back to Middleton. Celtic shirts all around him, but he's done well to dig it out and find Stevenson, who finds Chevy, who finds Graham. Look out to Chevy on the far side, and he rolls it back onto the halfway line, and Graham goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. It was Ronan Hale who got that goal for Ross County. Incidentally, they lead Motherwell 1-0 in Lanarkshire. 2-0 lead for Celtic, 1-0 leads for Aberdeen, Kilmarnock and Ross County in the 4 Premiership matches taking place this afternoon, with highlights to come on Sports Scene this evening. We played 37.5 here at Celtic Park, and goals from McGregor and Jota have Celtic in cruise control.
Well, you asked the question of when do they go for it a little bit, when do they open up a little bit, Dundee United. I would say 37 of those 37.5 minutes they didn't, but just now, look at them now, much more forward thinking. They've got more players up the park. This is either going to be brave or not very smart.
One thing I would say is when Aberdeen did draw 2-2 here, they did come from 2-0 down as Ida comes forward, looks to lay it through for Hatate, but Docherty's there. Good work by the captain. He gets back to help out his defence. He's actually the deepest outfield player there, Docherty. He fires it high out to this near side. There is a check for a possible penalty here for Celtic. I'm not sure if it struck a hand or anything, but anyway, the check has been waved away pretty quickly, and it's going to be a throw into Celtic, which Sloop will take. He hit the post just before Jota made it 2-0. He goes out of play on this near side. And another Celtic throw. Sloop takes it to Jota, then back to Sloop, but then he loses out, and Dundee United have it back, but for how long we don't know, as Doherty goes down, fouled by Hatate. Free kick Dundee United on this near side. Celtic 2, United 0, 6 minutes of the 45 left.
You mentioned Jeffrey Sloop there, and I think he could be a very, very good buy for Celtic in that left back area. He's very, very powerful, but he's also very good going forward. He's creative. You can see that he's capable of scoring a goal as well. He is short on fitness. I don't think he's anywhere close to the best he's been in his career, but I'd say 3 or 4 games he probably needs, and then you're going to see possibly a very, very special addition to the Celtic squad.
He's managed 16 appearances for Crystal Palace this season, so it's not like he's been in Siberia at Sellers Park. He's certainly been involved, and he's come up here on loan, and I guess, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's operating at the very top level, and here's someone who could potentially operate at the top level. Jota, good run forward, and his ball across for Ida. It's defended brilliantly by United and behind for the corner.
Right, it's Brendan Rodgers thinking to himself now, do I get Jota off and save him for the Bayern Munich game? Because he's such a class act.
He's on fire here.
He's absolutely flying now. Just playing himself into the game. Even when he was jogging the first 10 or 15 minutes, he still looked class. And right now, at this point in time, he's terrorising that Dundee United defence.
McCowan will take the corner, left-footed out-swinger, which is headed away by Doherty. Breaks back out to Luke McCowan on this left-hand side. Down the line for Jota. And then McCowan, and he shifts it back to Hatate. Big long ball out to the right, looking for Yang, just sails over his head. It's behind, flags up anyway, and it stays Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. It's also 2-0 at the Falkirk Stadium, where Ayr United have doubled their lead in that top of the table clash in the Championship. Falkirk 0, Ayr 2. Statement that would be by Ayr.
First piece second, a few away from home as well. Is a result and a half.
It'll be a massive result, and they've put themselves in a wonderful position to attain said wonderful result. 2-0 Celtic here, 1-0 Aberdeen at Dundee, 1-0 Kilmarnock at home to St Johnstone, and 1-0 Ross County at Motherwell. And as I was saying, 2-0 Ayr at Falkirk, 1-1 Morton, Ayr Dionians, goalless Livingston, Dunfermline, Hamilton 2-0 up at Queen's Park, and Raith Rovers 2-0 up at home to Partick Thistle. Those are the 2 top tiers.
I'm not trying to get ahead of myself or anything, but when was the last Ayr versus Kilmarnock derby at the top level?
In the league? Well, you're going back to the 70s, aren't you?
You're talking, that's something that a lot of people would like to see, including me.
Yeah, well, it would be great for the area as well, wouldn't it? As Schmeichel rolls it forward to Carter Vickers. Celtic on easy street right now. It's up to Dundee United to try and change the course of this match, but right now it's, as it has been, the vast majority of the fixtures between them in Glasgow since 1992.
I actually have played in Ayr United versus Kilmarnock derby, by the way.
I know you have.
And it's,
I know you have.
I tell you what, they are crackers.
Yeah. Here's Jota for Celtic, flicks it with the outside of the right, takes a deflection, but still finds its way to Hatate. Hatate out to Sloop, first time left-footed, very deep ball, but it sails the other side of the goal frame and behind for a goal kick, and it stays Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. I have to say, Pat, given Jota's return to the club, and although it wasn't a bona fide swap with Kyogo, given the strength Celtic have in that area of the pitch, given Adam Ida's caught fire, given Daisen Maida's in 22 this season, given Koons having a wonderful season as well, it's ending up being a wonderful piece of business because Kyogo wasn't at the same level as he had been.
And given 10 million quid, I believe, as well,
Yeah.
which I think is probably quite important in there as well. And also a player that Brendan was making very, very clear, not saying it absolutely, he didn't want to be at the club anymore, he wanted to move on. So if you're playing for Celtic Football Club, you need to want to be at this football club. It's not acceptable any other way. So you're right, it's working so far. You wouldn't want Ida to get injured, right enough. You'd be expecting so much of Maeda.
They're a bit thin up there, and we were wondering whether it would be Daisen Maeda who'd lead the line in the Allianz on Tuesday night. That's of course for another day, but you would think, given how well he did when he went into that position and he scored on Wednesday, there's every chance of that.
They're a real temptation. I have to say, I thought before the game, I was saying before that I felt it was something that would work better. Nothing against Ida. It's just the fact that the type of players they're playing for. I mentioned that at the start of the show there. But you've got options, and that's one of the great things for Brendan. He's got options. What he wants to have at the end of this game is all the options. So if Celtic could get one more goal, he can then start changing it and maybe relaxing some of the players and resting even some more of his players than he has done so far.
Jota testing Adebayega, but this time he comes out on the losing side. Adebayega driving forward, the ball comes off the heel of Carter Vickers, falls for Sam Dalby over on the far side, leaves it for Middleton. He's racing up to the left hand side, across it comes, a really good ball by Glenn Middleton. He's got his arms outstretched as he goes behind for a goal kick on the other side of the goal, and he's asking why are you not there to pop that into the net, because he's got it between the goalkeeper and the defenders. All it needs is a tangerine shirt gambling.
I tell you, every centre forward will say the same thing to you. You put it between the defenders and the goalkeeper at pace, I'll get there, right? Problem is, do you know who gave him the ball? Dolby gave him the ball on the left hand side.
The guy he wants in the middle. Yeah.
Exactly, and that was the problem there. And Dolby's looking at it thinking, could you not have held up a wee bit before you played that ball? But hey, look, that was a decent attack there, and there have been one or two from Dundee United, but it's only been one or two. Celtic have been very dominant. I don't think it's 89% possession anymore. It's certainly real dominance from Celtic.
No, 80.6 it's sitting at right now. We're into 1 minute of stoppage time being added on at the end. 2-0 Alloa at home to Kelty in League One. Cove 2-1. Dumbarton, Montrose level at 2-2. Arbroath 3-0 up at Queen of the South now. Full run through of the scores across the SPFL to come on Sports Sounds. Trusty picks up, squares it to Carter Vickers. Celtic strolling here towards the 3 points, certainly strolling to the half-time whistle, which Nick Walsh blows. And goals from Callum McGregor and from Jota have Celtic in the comfort zone here as they look to move 16 points clear at the top of the Premiership. Half-time in Glasgow's East End is Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Thanks, Dodge. I mean, Chip was there last week for the game with Partick Thistle. That game had everything. Today, that's everything, and it's very much game on now.
You know, the thing was, see, when it went to Chick, I thought I was hearing boos, and I was thinking,
3-0.
Would have gone 3-0, but it's 2-1. I mean, that is, sets up the second half brilliant.
Yeah, Scott Brown will be livid with that one. Let's get to
it. Was Liam Henderson
Liam
with the goal,
Henderson.
actually. Yeah.
See, touching on the Masmanisi thing, and I brought this up a couple of weeks ago, and Craggs was mentioning how he was very fatigued at the game. I think there's a midweek game previous, but I just think he is such a threat.
Absolutely.
Every time he's in the game for Motherwell, it just brings a different dynamic. It's not just Motherwell, it'd be any side that he plays for, and I think he's got real quality as well. I don't think he's just like a speedster that his end product's not particularly great. I really think Masmanisi's a good player.
The majority of the play this afternoon, Michael,
both teams
is
doing well to get nil.
Thanks, Alan. Yes, Leanne.
It's Tony Watt. He's kind of dropping into that pocket. Motherwell are just looking for that up, back and through, but when it goes up and it comes back and through, they've got nothing really beyond that. And as much as Armstrong's trying this afternoon, I just don't think he offers you and gives you that same outlet that Masmanisi does. So anyway, half-time at Fir Park. Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. You can hear the boos.
Absolutely, we can hear that. They're badly need a new man in charge. We're told that could happen as soon as Monday. Stirling Albion's equaliser at home. The fourth came from Jack Hartness on 43 minutes. That goal right in the stroke of half-time.
Half-time at Falkirk Stadium.
Yeah.
Half-time, Falkirk 1 here 2.
Yeah, thanks to Chick. Just confirming what Chick told us. Liam Henderson with that goal on 45 minutes. He's 5-0. Bonnyrigg 1. Cameron Ross in first half stoppage time there. So that's you right up to date with all the latest scores. Are you still playing down there at Rugby Park, Stephen Craigan?
Indeed, Kenny. There's 1 minute left, 1 minute of added time left. But Kilmarnock have been so much better in this first half than what St Johnstone had. So Simo Valakai's going to have to either mix something up at half time or make some sort of substitutions, because at this stage the game's drifting away from them.
Marley Watkins just hit the crossbar not long ago, Craigs, wasn't it? Close to making it 2.
He did, Michael, and once again, I said him the last time I was on, Fraser Murray, he's been absolutely terrific.
Good delivery.
Really has. His running power, he's got past Dre Wright. He took the ball off Dre Wright earlier on, who was trying to let the ball run out for a throw, and he dragged him back and it's now been booked. So every time Fraser Murray gets the ball, he just knocks it past him. He hasn't for pace. And you're right, the cross from his left foot has been absolutely delightful, but Marley Watkins unfortunately put it off the crossbar. And there's half-time now, Kenny, 1-0.
Yeah, thanks to Stephen Craig. Just apologies again for fans of both these clubs. Stephen obviously is on a mobile phone there. I know with myself and personal experience, it's a nightmare when you're doing a game under these circumstances. So we're not hearing Stephen for all the chances, but the guys have got the pictures in here in the studio. And of course, we'll go to Stephen for any major incidents in that game. So stay tuned. Plenty more to come on Sports Sound. We will bring you all the half-time reports. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Let's then take a journey around the grounds. Our commentary match this afternoon comes from Celtic Park. Celtic at home to Dundee United. Let's hear from our commentary team, Pat Nevin and Liam McLeod.
It's a stroll for Celtic right now, 2-0 up at the break against Dundee United, who are faced with this challenge of trying to score at least twice in the second half of this game against a team that's only conceded twice at home in the league this season. And it's goals from Callum McGregor and Jota to have the champions in front. McGregor's goal's excellent, and they were struggling to break through the tangerine and black rear guard. Dundee United set up with a 4-4-2, but they'd surrendered so much possession. At one point it was touching 90% in Celtic's favour, but they couldn't really test Jack Walton, not until Callum McGregor danced into the box and fired a left foot shot into the bottom right. It's outstanding from the captain, who's really found his goal-scoring touch this season. That's his 8th of the campaign. Jota's one arrived, and it was even better, darting in from the left-hand touchline into the box. It was vintage Jota as he found the bottom right reverse corner with an outstanding right-footed finish. Jeffrey Schlupp hit the post. Jack Walton saved brilliantly, point-blank from Adam Ida, as well as Celtic threatened to run amok. United have threatened fleetingly. They've been up the pitch once or twice. Glenn Middleton, just before the break, turned a superb ball across between the goalkeeper and the defender. Sam Dalby had laid it off to him, so was in the wrong place to get back on the end of it. And Kasper Schmeichel saving from Alan Campbell. A couple of times Campbell hit one from the edge of the box. Didn't really have the belief in the effort. It was a comfortable save. Schmeichel's other one he flopped down onto as Campbell stretched and tried to get something on the low ball from the left, but couldn't turn it home. And Pat Nevin, it's a fairly simple, normal afternoon for the champions at home, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, do you know that I think there's gears to come from Celtic if they want to, even in this game. It's 2-0. It could easily have been 4. And you wouldn't have been surprised, you wouldn't have raised your eyebrows, and you'd almost say it was deserved as well. Dundee United are working hard, that's perfectly fine. They've put a couple of half chances, just half chances, not much more than that. But as you say, if you've got almost 90% of the possession at one point and then drops to only 81% after that, against quality players, you're going to give up chances. Jota is a class act.
You've loved watching him today, haven't you?
Goodness, it's brilliant to see him come back. Well, we know how good he is anyway, but you know, he's never lacked confidence, let's be fair. But right now, there is such a beautiful arrogance on the ball. Beginning to get a bit of an understanding with Schlupp behind him. Schlupp's a special player. When he gets himself fully fit, with his underlaps that he is, Celtic do that, Brendan loves to do that. Happens a lot on the right-hand side, we know that anyway. But he's got something extra as well. So You were mentioning just beforehand that transfer window, losing Kyogo is a big thing. Well, let's be honest about it. You've brought in some quality players here who actually might make it a better unit.
Celtic eyeing up a 16-point lead at the top of the Premiership. They are halfway to doing so. Half-time here, Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
In Europe,
Celtic give themselves a fighting chance going across to Munich.
European football lives here.
Corner's not entirely dealt with. It is in!
Celtic in the Champions League. Tuesday from 6 on digital radio or by asking your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
yeah, we brought you all the European action on sports and another huge game to come. 6 o'clock, join us on Tuesday evening. Domestic action to the fore this afternoon. Let's get to Dens Park. Dundee at home to Aberdeen and hear from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, half-time here at Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1. But the first 30 minutes belonged to the home side. They had 3 really good efforts. Simon Murray with the first one, just didn't get enough power on it. Low, and it was easily saved by Doan. He should have done better. Josh Mulligan had another strike as well. Again, just feeling a great position, just in the edge of the box. He's got to make a better effort of it, and it's easily taken care of by Doan. And then Larkesh down the left-hand side cuts in. It's a tight angle. He strikes it. Looks as though it's going goalward, but it hits the side netting. And then in 29 minutes, Aberdeen, against the run of play, take the lead. It's a corner kick from the left-hand side that comes over. It's Keskinen that takes the strike. McCracken goes down. He just parries it out to Kevin Nisbet, who finds himself in the perfect position to take advantage of it as he blasts it into the roof of the net to give Aberdeen the lead. Ockles had a chance pretty quickly after that, coming in from the left-hand side. And onto his right foot, he strikes it. It's a decent strike. It's to the right-hand side of McCracken, but McCracken makes an equally good save to keep it out. And then just before half-time, Dundee have a real push on. They have a number of opportunities, 2 best, all in the space of 30 seconds, where Simon Murray has a swipe at it. I thought he should have had made contact at the very least in his defence. Perhaps it was spinning off the ground, and then it goes out to the right hand side. The cross comes in. He's desperate to try and get his head on it, but he just can't make it. And then it falls to Jordan McGee, who takes it on the half volley and really should be hitting the target. In fact, should have been the equaliser, puts it past the post. So at half time here, the Dons are in front by 1-0 against Dundee.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Let's then get to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to St Johnstone and hear from Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, indeed, Kenny, it's the home lead back. Garrett McInnes will be wondering how it's only 1-0. The only goal of the game came after 9 minutes. It was really poor. It's goal played by Andy Fisher. He rolled a straight ball into Polworth had read the situation. He tried to turn blind. Polworth nicked off Mac the 1-2 with Bobby Wales. He then gets through one-on-one with Fisher and a lovely, delicate little finish. Just lifted the ball over Fisher. At that stage, Kilmarnock, you could tell the body language had changed. They were enjoying playing after having a 2-week break. They should have made it 2-0. Bobby Wales had a lovely little turn and snapshot inside the 18-yard box, but it just fizzed wide. Kyle McGuinness, he then had a chance after Robbie D set him up inside the 18-yard box. Couldn't the shot down, just went over the crossbar. Almost right on hand.
Right,
apologies. Crossbar after really good play once again down the left-hand side by Fraser Murray. For St John's, they haven't really carried much of a threat at all. Sam Curtis and Mackenzie Kirk have both had shots. They've got work to do, but Garrett McInnes will hope they can get the second goal very quickly after half-time to try and take this game away from St Johnstone. It's the visitors with work to do, so it's half-time here at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0.
Thanks to Stephen Craigan. We just about got that there again. Apologies for the quality on that line. Let's get to Fir Park. Motherwell up against Ross County. The half-time report comes from Leanne Crichton.
Thanks, Kenny. It's Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. And if football games were decided on possession, Motherwell, they would have been out of sight in the opening 30 minutes. But as for quality and goal-mouth action, there had been very little to report. Tony Watt, he did have an early chance. He brought a long ball out there. He got the better of Lapata and swiveled with a left foot shot, but his effort came back off the post and into the arms of Amisa in the County goal. County, they were happy enough, they were soaking up the pressure and looked for the most part comfortable out of possession. Their patience and perseverance eventually paid off. 32 minutes was on the clock and Ronan Hale found the opener. A defensive lapse in the edge of the Motherwell box, saw the ball break for Hale just inside the penalty area, and he made no mistake and smashed the ball beyond Ellery Balcombe to give the visitors the advantage. 39 minutes and Motherwell looked to find a leveller. Nice combination play down the right hand side. O'Donnell found Watt, who reversed the delivery for Armstrong. He took a magical first touch inside the box, but he just couldn't get his shot on target from 8 yards out. As the half-time whistle blew, you heard the frustration and the boos rang around Fir Park. A big second half coming up for both of these sides. Half-time, it's Motherwell 0, Ross County 1.
So the half-time scores in the Scottish Premiership: Celtic 2, Dundee United 0, Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. Let's get into the Championship. First up, Amon Vale, Livingston at home to Dunfermline. Let's hear from Alan Preston.
Well, it's not been a great first half, Kenny. It's goalless at half-time. Dunfermline have yet to register a shot on target. Livingston have only had 2. First one came in 26 minutes where it was played up the right-hand side. Muirhead cuts inside on his left foot, but his shot was straight at the keeper. Then from a short corner, Fraser then had an effort. Again, the keeper managed to save it. Dunfermline defending resolutely, got to show more going forward. Livingston with that result at Falkirk can close the gap on Falkirk if they can get a victory here. The half-time score, Livingston 0, Dunfermline Athletic 0.
Thanks to Alan Preston. A few problems with the line with Chick now. It's a great game he's enjoying, but the score there is Falkirk 1, Ayr United 2 and Livingston 0, Dunfermline 0. As Alan Preston was telling us, Morton 1, Airdrie 1, Queen's Park 0, Hamilton Accies 2, Wraith Rovers 2, Partick Thistle 0. In League 1, Alloa Athletic 2, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 2, Annan Athletic 1, Dumbarton 2, Montrose 2, Queen of the South 0, Arbroath 3. In League 2, East Fife 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Peterhead 1, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 1, Forfar Athletic 1, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 0. And in England, the lunchtime kick-off finish, Leicester City 0, Arsenal 2. Half-time, Aston Villa 0, Ipswich 0, Ipswich down to 10 men, Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester City 3, Newcastle United 0, Southampton 0, Bournemouth 2, West Ham United 0, Brentford 1. 5:30 kick-off. Crystal Palace are at home to Everton. A reminder, we're on the telly today, BBC One, from 4:15 until 5:30. From 5:30, all the reaction from the games. That'll come from the managers or the pundits and the return of the fans today. I'm sure they will have plenty to say. Willie Miller. First up today is an Aberdeen fan. He'll be delighted, I'm sure, with the scoreline, but again, some concerns over the performance there today. It sounds like Dundee had plenty of chances.
They have had plenty of chances in that first 30 minutes, Kenny, and also towards half-time, and it's been kind of just defending by good fortune, perhaps, I would suggest. A lot of bodies Aberdeen had in the box, and Dundee not having the quality or, the right player in the right time, and then that chance for McGee too, when he puts it by the post, when really, it's looking like a goal-scoring opportunity. So there is concerns. It's not a great quality of game. It keeps your interest in the game. It's fast. It's from end to end. The ball is being delivered very swiftly from back to front. Not great quality, from either team in the final third, and that's what it's lacking. Mockles had a really good chance, but lack quality in the finish. Nisbet just being in the right place at the right time. Hey, it's a great habit to have if you're a striker. He needs to find it. He needs to be more regular. First half could have went either way. Dundee had taken their chances and Aberdeen would have struggled, but they've taken the chance. It's fallen. And at this moment in time, Jimmy Tillene's a happier manager.
Yeah, we'll see how the second half unfolds. A choice of listening once again on Sports Sound for commentary of Celtic against Dundee United. Tuned to digital, 810 medium wave and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For open all mics, tuned to BBC Radio Scotland on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds. And you can follow all the action live online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
A golden goal!
Absolutely tremendous.
There's no substitute.
Welcome back from Celtic Park. The second half literally just kicks off there. Alan Campbell pushing it back to Chevy and then out to Adabayega over on the far side. Doesn't look like any changes for either team at the start of the second half, as Celtic look to just see this out, and Brendan Rodgers will hope they'll score more goals in the second half. And it's going to be a Dundee United free kick. They're in the tangerine and black, shooting right to left towards the Jockstein stand end in the second half. Celtic, unusually for them, in the second half towards the Lisbon line, stand left to right in the green and white hoops. Grey, cold day here in Glasgow. And it is Celtic with the throw-in from Schlup. The floodlights are on over on the far side. Might be a slight drizzle in the air as well, as Carter Vickers picks up just outside his own box and finds Ralston, who finds Trusty. Very difficult 45 minutes for Jim Goodwin and his players, this, isn't it, Pat?
It is, but then again, if you could get a goal, you know, one goal, back to 2-1, everything changes, attitude changes, belief changes.
Sam Dolby coming forward for United, rolls it wide left for Middleton, chance to take on Ralston on the left-hand side, gets the left foot cross dug out. Bit too much on it though, Fotheringham can't get onto it on the far side of the penalty area, and it bounces out for a Celtic throw-in over there. But that is at least good positive play by Dundee United right at the start of the second half.
They'll try to close up a little bit higher up the park right at the start of this second half, but then they did that at the start of the first half and it didn't last very long. So obviously Jim Goodwin said to him, look, we need to try and push up a little bit, back four, get up in the halfway lane as often as you possibly can, and give your midfielders a chance. I mean, their midfield just couldn't get involved in the game in that first half. They were utterly dominated by the Hoops midfield.
And Dundee United's last win over Celtic, December 2014. Chief G and Armstrong scored the goals in a 2-1 win, with Griffiths countering for the visitors at Tannadice. Of course, the two United goal scorers signed for Celtic the subsequent month, as that goes out of play for a throw-in to United, but level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box in front of the north stand on the far side. It's with Adabayega, gets it back immediately, it goes out of play, and it's going to be a Celtic throw-in this time. It's Liam McLeod, Pat Nevin with you here on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, 810 medium wave and on digital. And I will, as I did in the first half, endeavour to keep you up to date with what's going on elsewhere across the country. Sports Scene highlights to come this evening, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, and repeated later on BBC One.
By the way, you did mention earlier on number 7, Jota. In fact, the great number 7s of Celtic in the past. You mentioned Dalglish and Larsson. I have to say, it's impossible not to mention Jimmy Johnson as well, to be fair.
True.
Those of us of a certain vintage.
Yeah, they'd probably be the three that you would say are synonymous with the number 7 shirt here.
Absolutely. And to be honest, Jota has been really special in this. I mean, it's intriguing what you do now with Jota in this second half. Do you want him to get more minutes so that he's match fit, you know, and get fit under his belt? Or do you think, well, wait a minute, we're going to need you, you know, in sort of Bayern Munich, you desperately need him at some point in the game, because he has got some very, very special qualities.
Surprised you didn't pull me up there when I was talking about wearing the number 7 shirt with distinction.
Oh yeah,
because Johnston and Dalglish wouldn't have had the number on the back of the shirt, would they?
Yes, it was only in the shorts in those days.
It is Schmeichel for Celtic. He rolls it to his right for Carter Vickers. He goes back to his goalkeeper. We're looking to keep yet another clean sheet in the Premiership at home, as he has done in all but one of his Premiership matches. Aberdeen managed to dig themselves out of a hole here, 2-0 down at half-time, got back and found a point at the end of it. And Dundee United, who are currently sitting third on the live table, they're not, coming into this weekend. Certainly well, as Jota goes in the challenge with Adabayega on the far side. It's a foul by Jota, and he's landed awkwardly as well. And he was quite high too, from where we are. We're on the opposite side of the stadium. He looked quite high and out of control.
I have no idea why Jota's going into that tackle there. You just slow it down, you know. Yeah, you're showing a little bit of commitment there, but it was such a forwards tackle, wasn't it? Clumsy, foot seemed high as well. He's hurt himself while he's doing it. I hope the referee and the assistant referee do understand that that's clumsy more than anything else. I think the description was right there, but it looked a bit ugly as well, didn't it?
Yeah, there was a check for a possible red, but that's been dismissed pretty quickly.
I think most of the officials generally know the types of players that would do that deliberately. You're right, it was clumsy, and it was that wee bit of rustiness that we were talking about before from Jota.
Dundee United have a free kick when all is said and done, and Ross Docherty's over it. It's over on the far side touchline, about level with the edge of the D of the Celtic penalty area. Docherty with the right foot gets it in there. It's not a bad delivery either, and there was a little flick header which comes to the other side of the box, and Hatate's touch takes it out for a throw-in to United, who, if they can get the next goal, then it's suddenly game on again.
Well, it's worth underlining the first 5 minutes of this half. It's been Dundee United by some distance. They've spent the entirety of the time attacking that Celtic goal, or certainly controlling the game, and they've got a long throw, and we know they can be very dangerous.
Scored the winner from against Aberdeen from a long throw-in, and it comes from Ross Graham, headed away though. Kevin Holt scored that goal, is not involved today. It's Docherty at the edge of the box, turns, shoots, blocked, and then Campbell gets onto the seconds, and his effort first time on the volley is well wide. But it's good from Dundee United at the start of the second half here, as Celtic pick up with Schlupp, and he rolls it back to Austin Trusty. And Brendan Rodgers won't want his team to get sloppy in this second half, particularly with Tuesday coming up.
Well, it's a sticker twist situation, isn't it? You've got, if you're Celtic, you'd like to just get through this game. You take 2-0 right now. I mean, you do not want anyone to get injured. Oh, there's a bit of trouble down there.
Hold on though, there's a little bit of afters down there between Luke McCowan and one of the United players. Might have been Chevy actually, as Pat was saying to me at half-time. We've barely mentioned him in the game.
We couldn't get involved in the game at all there, and I think there's a bit of frustration there from both players, it has to be said. McGowan's a very good player as well, but he wants to get in this team and he wants to stay in this team, but he's not had a massive effect. He's worked hard, he's put himself about, he's had some nice passes, but he's certainly not shining the way some other Celtic players are just now. But that can sometimes be difficult with the wingers particularly, and that lad McGregor in the midfield, he always catches the eye.
He's not done badly for himself, has he? 23 major honours for Celtic. And James Forrest, Bobby Lennox ahead of him.
You just wonder if he ever tries all his medals on round his neck. Probably break his neck.
No, it's not advisable. Another long throw for United, this time from the other side. Level with the Celtic penalty spot. Ross Graham, he's not got much of a run-up between the advertising at the front of the North Stand and the touchline. As he bowls it into the area, it's headed away by Ida. Hatate helps it on its way, then it's McCowan. Now Yang's onto it, he's got Jota to his left. 2-on-1 at the moment. Yang driving forwards about when he releases the ball, and it never ever came, but he's been brought down. And the referee goes to his pocket and books Glenn Middleton, and Celtic have a free kick at the edge of the United box.
Oh, it's a great break there, and he was desperate to put Jota in, and he was just trying to draw the defender, draw him, but the defender did well. He just kept on going backwards, and eventually he just ran out of legs. And to be fair, there was a caution given there. I thought that was a wee bit hard. It looked to me as if Yang had just, as you say, run out of legs. It was a great run from his own half there. And if any Celtic fans watching thinking he was being greedy, he wasn't. He was just trying to draw the defender.
Aberdeen have gone 2-0 up at Dens Park against Dundee. A quite stunning goal from Topi Keskinen by all accounts. Dundee 0, Aberdeen 2.
Who do you think fancies this one? Jota's getting sent away.
Yeah, McGregor and McCowan at the moment. It is around about 25 yards from goal, give or take, 1 or 2. McCowan with the left or McGregor with the right? Let's have a look. So Lucas McGregor just shifted away from it. Does look like Luke McCowan is favourite to take this. 4-man United wall. United cannot afford to concede again. They're 2-0 down in 54 minutes. Here goes McCowan. It's a low effort, which Walton holds on to just, with Ida trying to snap up the rebound. It stays Celtic 2, United 0.
It's another thing Celtic have got. They've got a number of players in that position who can be very dangerous from the edge of the box from free kicks there. But that break there, I suppose that shows you Dundee United's problem, doesn't it? They've pushed a lot of players forward. They're going to have a little bit of a go in this second half. Well done for them doing that. The problem is that break.
Within seconds, Seb Palmer-Holden's pulled one back for Dundee. It's now Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2 at Dens. Aberdeen's inability to keep clean sheets in the Premiership comes back to haunt them today. Dundee giving themselves a chance again. Celtic here 2-0 up. A decent start to the second half by United, but been unable to make inroads as far as the score sheet is concerned. There's another yellow card. Chevy booked for a foul on McCowan, and those were the two were involved just a moment ago.
Do we call that retribution? I think we definitely do. And it was so obvious, and it was so late, and it was a certainty that he was going to get McCowan back from that, because he was furious with McCowan beforehand. He thought he'd stood on him, actually, but yellow card, nailed on referee.
We're checking for a possible red against Chevy. There it is, just going to be a yellow. The game is on again, and it's McGregor to the left for Trusty. Dinks it forward, the header there from Fotheringham back up to the halfway line where McGregor is onto it. And he turns it back to Austin Trusty.
I was wondering, Liam, just, start the second half thinking, Celtic don't often go from left to right, down towards the east. And I was wondering, why not? When you think about the loudest supporters are up there, and if you're going to be attacking a goal, in the second half and needing a goal, the most common thing is wanting to go in towards the supporters that are your loudest supporters. So
they do tend to find the late goals when they require them, though, don't they?
There is that.
Regardless.
It's not a problem either way, it has to be said, but it shouldn't actually be a negative for Celtic, because that's where the noisiest fans are.
Yeah, United turned them at the start of the game, which is why they're going left to right in the second half here, and it's Yang for Celtic, finds Jota, comes off his heel, breaks to Hatate, deft ball back into the box, too high, too much power on it for Jota, and it goes behind for the goal kick. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0 on 56.5.
You can notice the difference in Celtic play when they're not playing against a team that's camped in their own box. Dundee United are a lot more open now, and the speed of the movement and the passing of Celtic is so much better, because it's easier to do that because there's space to move it into. So it's a wee bit more enjoyable for the Celtic players to go and attack into it, but also it's a more enjoyable game for the neutral to some degree. But it all depends on this next goal, doesn't it? If Celtic get the next goal, they can start making the changes, relax a little bit. If Dundee United get the next goal, definitely can't relax.
There is United on the ball with Docherty right of the centre circle, just turning it back to Graham. We'll have a look at the other score lines when we get a suitable break in play here. I think Arne Engels is going to be on for Celtic shortly. United have it with Middleton, and now Chevy picks up against McCowan, shuffles away from him, shifts it infield to Docherty. He's gone for goal. It's not miles away as he shoots, goes wide right of the goal frame, just swerved away at the last as well. It remains Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. But that's it, a little bit of magic. If Ross Docherty, he doesn't score many from outside the box, hits target there and finds the goal, then suddenly it's 2-1.
Yeah.
And suddenly Dundee United have that renewed belief.
And football can be weird that way, because we were here in Celtic playing Bayern Munich, and in the first half, just at the start of the second half, you were describing 2-0 down. Did anyone see 2-1? It didn't look like it. It can happen.
Celtic have it with Yang on the near side, infield to McCowan. Bounces up into the air, away by Campbell, but it's picked up by Yang, taking on his man Chevy, and it comes off the Croatian and behind for a Celtic corner on this near side. McCowan comes to take and gets the customary welcome from the United supporters for the former Dens Park captain. And a left-footed corner coming up here for Celtic as they try and find the third goal that would be the final nail in the United coffin. And it comes flicked by Carter Vickers, back across it comes, and behind for the corner by Gallagher.
Hatate, I think it was, at the back post there. I'm trying to see if it was him. Anyway, whoever came in at the back post there had half a chance, but he's gone down injured there as he's clipped the ball across, and he's actually stayed down. It may not be, actually might be Yang.
It's Yang, yeah, it's Yang who's down his left-hand side of the 6-yard box. Hatate helping him back to his feet.
He's not happy there, is he? He's finding it really tough to put his weight on his foot. I think he just slightly went over in his ankle there.
So Celtic corner, Luke McCowan over it. I think Daizen Maida's going to be on as well shortly. In comes McCowan's corner. It's easily away by Docherty at the near post. And McGregor with the cushion header to Hatate. A Celtic try and come again. Down the left flank they have it. Hatate's a look up at the United box, plays it short down the line for Yang. Engels and Maida waiting the touchline. Now with Ida, and then to Hatate. Now McGregor, got the first, squares it to Ralston, who goes back to Carter Vickers. And now the game's kind of reverted to tight just in the last 5 minutes as we approach the hour mark. 2-0 Celtic. Hatate gets it from Sloop at the edge of the area, finds McCowan on the left foot, his efforts blocked. Breaks back to McGregor, who finds Ralston. He'll turn it back to Carter Vickers, right of the centre circle. Short ball to Ralston, Jota on the right-hand touchline. And it's back to Ralston and back to Carter Vickers. So 2-0 Celtic here. Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2. Kilmarnock have gone 2-0 up against St Johnstone at Rugby Park. That's just happened in the last minute or so. Polwarth got the first, not sure who got the second, but it is 2-0 to Kilmarnock. It's also 2-0 to Ross County at troubled Motherwell. And that's just happened within the last minute or so after Ronan Hale gave County the lead. So 2-0 it is there.
Well, that squeezed it up, hasn't it, with Ross County? Incredible the difference.
Championship remains Falkirk 1, Ayr United 2. It's Morton 1, Ayr Georians 1. Goalless Livingston, Dunfermline. Queen's Park have got one back against Hamilton. There's Queen's Park 1, Hamilton 2, Wraith Rovers 2, Partick Thistle 0. Hatate will be replaced by Engels, and Maida's going to come on for Jota. League 1 in the SPFL, of course, Cali Thistle Stenhousemuir was postponed yesterday. Alloa 2, Kelty 0, Cove 2, Annan 1, Dumbarton 2, Montrose 2, Queen of the South 0, Arbroath 3. And in League 2, East Fife 0, Bonnyrigg 1, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Peterhead 1, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 2, Forfar 1. And it's goalless between Stranraer and Elgin City, and what is the longest journey in the SPFL for whoever's the away team in that one. So, Pat Nevin, Maida and Engels on.
Tell you a story about Brendan Rodgers, doesn't it? Maida's so important to Celtic Football Club at this point in time. He's so important to any opportunity you're going to get through against Bayern Munich. He's a definite starter unless he gets injured in this game. But he still puts him on. He still thinks, no, you got to win the league. You got to win the league. You don't want to make any slip-ups at all. You don't want to give anyone a sniff, even though Rangers are a long, long way behind. He just doesn't want to lose games of football, does he?
No, absolutely. Of course, Celtic looking to record a first ever competitive win on German soil on Tuesday night when they go to Bayern Munich for that second leg. So it's a huge, almighty task they face. The Maida goal late on has made that tie much more interesting than we thought it was going to be. Falkirk have come from 2-0 down to draw at 2-2 now, level at 2-2 with Ayr United as Kilmarnock go 3-0 up on St Johnstone. A massive game. Pat was saying earlier, he was speaking to a couple of Killie fans, and he said that was one of the biggest games they've had in years. Well, Derry McInnes' team have stood up and some. Killie 3, St Johnstone 0.
I think a lot of teams are feeling that just now because of the tightness of the league. One win and you can just fly up that league, and if somebody gets, you want teams, if you're in that position, to get dropped, and at the moment, you know, it's easy to get dropped. And of course, if you go on any sort of run 2 or 3 games in a row, you're flying.
Well, I mean, Pat, look at it. Aberdeen in the live table have gone ahead of United into third spot. Still time for that to change, of course. Aberdeen 38 in third, Dundee 27 in 11th. 11 points between third and 11th place.
When you consider the bad runs that the likes of Aberdeen have gone on.
Even United right now.
And the fabulous run that, say, Hibs have gone on.
Yeah.
When they were really struggling at the start of the season. It's a great league, really exciting. Outside, it has to be said who's going to win it. I think we've got a fair idea who's likely to win it.
Yeah, and Celtic 2-0 up here on 60, almost 64. It's with Yang on the near side. He's got Ralston in support. In he comes, flicks it with the outside of the boot for Engels. His ball straight to Chevy. Breaks though to Arne Engels again. He's holding off Alan Campbell, going to ground. Campbell's done well though, as you can hear from the Celtic supporters' reaction. They felt that that was a free kick for them, and their manager is in agreement. Down below us, that goes out for a throw-in on the far side to Dundee United. 2-0 Celtic.
I'm okay with that, Liam. I think he's get close. Okay, there's going to be a little bit of physical contact there, but he just kept on ratting around there, and he managed to win the ball back. And to be fair, if your player does that, if that was a Celtic player doing that, they would love that. So,
well, how many years did we watch Scott Brown doing that inside this very venue?
Not many better than Scott Brown.
Yeah. Alan Campbell's good at it though, and that's what we were saying. His tenacity in this Dundee United side could be the difference between finishing third and lower this season. Here comes Celtic with Yang, feeding it through towards Maida, though it's cut out by Adebayega and United get it away. Campbell goes to ground, no free kick. Doherty pokes it forward, it breaks to Carter Vickers, who sweeps it all the way back to his goalkeeper.
I keep on watching Yang, and he's kind of nearly a great player a lot of the time. He just does all the things you want him to do, and maybe the final ball's not perfect, but he's trying the right ball. He is one of those players. I've watched players like that over the years, and they need to get the right position in the right team at the right time, and suddenly they can flower, and he looks like one of them to me.
Yeah, he's yet to really catch fire, hasn't he? And
it's there. There's something there. There's absolutely something that could be special.
Signed from Won in his homeland. He's a South Korea international. He's came here with a bit of expectancy. As McCowan collects, pops it round Campbell, then dinks it to Schluck to his left. Good play by McCowan. Schluck down the left-hand side, Maida. Ida's waiting in the middle, though his low ball across is cut out by Adebayega at the expense of another Celtic corner.
Brilliant movement by, well, first of all, Maida, but Ida in the middle there. His willingness, his desire, his need to get in front of the centre-backs there to make sure if that ball comes in there, he's first to it, is absolutely brilliant. He has got such a striker's instinct, and had that ball been played in and got in there, he'd have had a tap in.
Celtic corner, Engels over it. In swinging corner kick with the right foot coming up here from the young Belgian. 5 in green and white hoop shirts waiting, either at the penalty spot in the 6-yard line. Engels bends it in, comes off a United head, bobbling around inside the penalty area. Middleton tries to get onto it, and there's a cry for handball against one of the players. I'm not sure if it came off an outstretched hand of Middleton or Yang there. It was difficult to tell, but it's gone out for a throw-in.
Look,
a corner, in fact, it's gone for Celtic on this near side.
Liam, it looked green and white to me, but you're right, it was a handball. But because the assistant referee didn't know which hand it was, he can't give it.
Celtic corner right in front of the United fans. Off to our right, and Engels out-swinging corner coming up. Again, there's a throng of players running about between the penalty spot and the 6-yard line. So Engels waits to deliver, and it comes towards the back post. It's flicked away by Adebayega. Yang heads it back the way to McGregor. And McGregor finds Schlupp. Slips it to his left to McGregor again, and out to the left hand it is with Yang. Infield to Trusty. Then to McGregor, out to the left-hand side. Austin Trusty finds Maida, gets the early cross in, but it's right down the throat of Walton, who holds on at his near post, and it stays Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
So wildly lively, Maida, isn't he? And he never thinks twice. As soon as he gets into an area, he puts it in the box, and you know, there's plenty who play wide, who want to go and find the pass in there. Maida doesn't. He just gets it in there, in the right area, and it's up the striker to get there.
A couple of changes coming for United. Trapanovsky and Payton are waiting to come on. Still don't know who got the second Kilmarnock goal. I do know that Bobby Wales got the third, but not got confirmation of the second goal scorer. It's now back with Walton, who clears it first time up towards the halfway line. Bounces awkward for Dalby, and then it's hooked back by Ralston towards his own goalkeeper. Schmeichel has to come out to the right-hand side of his box, and he can't find Ralston, so that's gone out for a throw into United. A little bit of sloppy play from Celtic there with 21 of the 90 to play. And here come the Dundee United alterations. And Kai Fotheringham will be replaced by Trapanovsky, and Rory Payton will come on as well, and he's going to replace Doherty. Pat Nevin.
Not completely surprised with that at all. I mean, they're going to be, obviously, Rory's a more attack-minded player. He's going to try and get up there as much as he possibly could. So we'll see if that what we've been waiting for, if Dundee United are going to really have a real go at it at some point. Lots of teams do that. They wait for the last 15, 20 minutes and have a go. Well, let's see if this is it from United.
Yeah, we're just about at that point. Long throw in. Ross Graham bowls it into the Celtic box. Headed away by Trusty. Then Yang tries to get under control. Perhaps would have been better served getting rid of it. Graham's kept it alive for United. Gallagher out to Trapanovsky. Now to Gallagher, returns it to Trapanovsky, wide left, first time cross, loops off a Celtic defender, and it favours Kasper Schmeichel, who holds on in his 6-yard line with both gloves. And it stays Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. It was Noah Chilvers got the second Ross County goal. They lead Motherwell 2-0 at Fir Park, and I believe Bobby Wales has a double in that 3-0. Right, okay. It is now with Schmeichel, who finds Carter Vickers. So changes for United.
Yep, interesting. Trapanovsky one coming in there. He's getting involved in the game right away. He's been really lively. You've got two players up front there trying to get up the park as much as possible. Rory Payton there, he's going to get right up beside Dalby. So yeah, there is absolute positivity there. They're trying very, very hard to have an effect in this game. It's only 2-0 still, so there's a chance.
Right, Lewis Mayo got the second Kilmarnock goal, so we got there in the end. Bobby Wales got the third. So 3-0 to Kilmarnock as Yang comes off to be replaced by Kuhn, and Greg Taylor will replace Schlupp. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0, Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 3, St Johnstone 0, and Motherwell 0, Ross County 2. That's the Premiership. The Championship, Falkirk 2, Ayr 2, Morton 2, Airdrieonians 2, goalless Livingston Dunfermline, Queen's Park 1, Hamilton 2, Wraith Rovers 3, Partick Thistle 0. That's the second tier. League 1, Cali Thistle Stenhousemuir was postponed as Walton comes to the edge of his box and heads it under pressure from Edan. Flag's gone up anyway. It's Alloa 2, Kelty 0, Cove 2, Annan 1, Dumbarton 2, Montrose 3, a thriller at the Rock, Queen of the South 0, Arbroath 3. And in League 2, East Fife 0, Bonnyrigg 1, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Peterhead 2, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 3, Forfar 1. And Stranraer have broken the deadlock at Stair Park. They lead Elgin City by a goal to 0, and that's just gone in the last minute or so. Stranraer looking to clamber themselves out of the bottom two. If they can win that one against Elgin, who of course fighting for promotion.
Do you know, I think Jim Goodwin were quite happy with the second half. They really, without creating a huge amount of chances, they've been competitive. They've not been meek about it. They've tried to push up Dundee United as much as they possibly can. He's made changes now there. The two attack-minded players have come on there. And it's just whether they've got the guile to create something. So far, it's been quite limited.
It's kind of the reverse of the game here last month when United performed really well in the first half, albeit they found themselves 1-0 down at the break. They were 2-0 down at half-time today, but they have acquitted themselves pretty well in this second half with 17.5 of it to play. 2-0 Celtic. Cannot make inroads on the scoreboard though, and that's the problem for them.
And they would love to do it. And you can tell that it's not seeing out a game for Celtic. I mean, it's not the Celtic way generally, but they're not seeing it out because you've brought on Maeda. You don't bring him on unless you want to go and try and kill the game off, finish it, get the 3 points sorted, and then you can take the foot off the gas and control it a bit.
Yeah, I don't think Brendan Rodgers, if it stays this way and it continues the way it's going, I don't think he's going to be, when he speaks to us afterwards, be too impressed with the second half performance-wise team today.
You never quite know with managers, and I'm not calling them liars.
He looks frustrated, put it that way.
Yeah, but he'll also want to keep the confidence in his side up. By the way, I was just...
It's Adabayega and Maeda on the far side, and the referee Walsh wants to speak to the Irishman, the defender, who's just absolutely halved Dyson Maeda.
Is he clotheslined him? I think that's a phrase from wrestling. He's clotheslined him. It's one of those ones, if it happened at Murrayfield, you'd probably get a yellow card. Dragged by the neck. He was held back there, and he'll have to be careful now. And against Dyson Maeda,
yeah.
You don't want to have to be careful, because you mistime anything and you could be in the book again and off the pitch.
Couple of home games for Dundee United after this. They've got Motherwell next up, and then it's Hibs before they go to Pittodrie. What a game that could be. Oh, Schmeichel just tinking the ball out to this near side past Payton as Celtic clear, and it's now up with Ida on this near side. Ida running into traffic, going the wrong way as well, but he's done well to get it back to Carter Vickers, who sweeps it back to his keeper.
He's been very good with his attitude, hasn't he? You know, he's got very few opportunities here, but he keeps on running. He keeps on trying to make that run. He's been caught offside a couple of times, but it is all about the timing of the ball as well as the timing of the run. And in many ways, he's had a thankless task up front, just running and running and running. But he hasn't given up, has he? He's given everything. I suspect he wants to start in a couple of days' time.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't get away with it, would you, if you weren't putting in that kind of effort, particularly when you've got that huge match coming up.
People always forget that about players. You think, oh yeah, I'll have a wee rest, and you know, you want to be playing. It's imperative you play, and you need to show the manager every single game.
United have it here on this left-hand side. It's just touched in field, and it's a long switch of play out to that right-hand side for Payton to give chase. Bounces off a Celtic defender, Trusty, and out for a throw-in to United. They're up the pitch here to try and find a route back into this.
Yeah,
going to bring Louis Moult on as well.
You can see the thinking. The thinking's obvious, you know. Obviously, you've got one striker coming off and another one. I think it will be Dalby that's coming off. But Louis Moult's a good striker. He's a very good goal scorer, so give him a chance.
Do you know something about Louis Moult, Pat, as he replaces Dalby? He was the last domestic player to score a winning goal against Celtic at Celtic Park when they've been behind, and he did so for Motherwell. They trailed 1-0, they won 2-1.
Right, I'm
That's
giving you. I'm
almost
giving
a
you
decade ago.
I'm giving you stat of the week for that.
It's almost
That's quality.
December 2015. And to be fair, Celtic, I think they've only lost 3 league games, 4 league games here in the subsequent years. As Carter Vickers heads back to Kasper Schmeichel. But he scored both goals for Motherwell. It was a famous day for the Steelmen. He came from a near beat-on goal down to win 2-1. As Kuhn flashes it infield to Engels. Right-footed ball out to the left for Maida to chase. He's got an early run into the box by Ida, but his cross is cut out by Adebayoga and behind for the corner.
He just keeps on going, doesn't he? We don't need to say that. Everybody knows that about Maeda, but you give him anything to run onto and he'll do so. But he's the master of the early ball in as well, isn't he? He zips it in there. I promise you, Ida loves playing with him. Any centre forward would.
Well, at times we saw Konrad Leimer, who's an Austria internationalist, playing it right back, albeit a midfielder. Was going up against Maida the other night. He was struggling at times. And then obviously he went through the middle to test Upamecano and Dyer. The Celtic look to take this corner and look for this third goal. 13 minutes of the 90 left. Celtic 2, United 0. Engels over the corner. And the referee is keeping a close eye and a couple of groups of players inside the box. In comes Engels' corner. Maida with a header towards the back post is cleared, and it's an important clearance just at the back post there by Payton, and eventually it goes behind for the goal kick to United.
We're talking about Maeda's style to do that, you know, just get as close to the byline or even just get half a yard and zip it in there. And of course, remember all those years with Kyogo. I mean, that's what you want to do. Like, he was for a long period of time the master of getting into that position. Movement was great, timing was great. So he's just doing the same thing, and that's, as I say, his movement has been good today. He's not got his goal yet, but I tell you what, he deserves an opportunity.
Carter Vickers at the edge of his own box is knocking it forward to McCowan. First time he's found Engels crossing the halfway line. Reversing the ball out to the left for Maida. He's got support down the line from Taylor. That's where it goes. Taylor's low ball to McCowan. Out to Maida on the far side. Pushes it back to Taylor. Gets the left foot cross in towards Kuhn at the back post, but the referee's blown his whistle. I think for a push there by Kuhn. That will be a free kick to United inside their own penalty area. It remains 2-0 Celtic as we approach the 79-minute mark.
And just the changes that Brendan Rodgers has made, you know, any real chance to Dundee United were going to get into it because they were having a good little spell there. He's made those changes, that little bit of pace up the left-hand side, frightened, you know, that side of Dundee United. It's pushed them back a little bit. He's just made it that much harder for Dundee United, and they're not quite cruising into it yet, but 10 or so minutes to go, a little bit of injury time as well. Celtic are managing it.
We'll have full coverage here on Sportsline and BBC Radio Scotland on Tuesday of Bayern Munich against Celtic in the second leg of that Champions League knockout playoff round. Tie. Celtic's game after that is at Easter Road against Hibs next Saturday lunchtime. And they're getting ever closer to the title as that ball's threaded through, and Walton will get onto it, but Engels has gone down and apparently hurt. He's sitting back up now. But before today, I think Celtic needed 8 more victories to reclaim the Premiership crown. Rangers can only get on to 92 points, can't get any further than that. Celtic can still get on to 105, which would be one shy of the record set by Brendan Rodgers in that invincible maiden season he had at the club. Of course, it's 8 wins, but that becomes 7 if they take care of Rangers here in a few weeks' time. They'll be down even more than that, obviously, at that point, but just even assuming Rangers were to win that game, Celtic would just need, including today's, 8 more wins.
You do suspect at some point the teams will be needing snookers.
Yeah. That's how to play for United. Throw in midway inside Celtic territory over on that far side. We are into the final 10 minutes here and heading into the final 10 minutes across the country as well. The other matches taking place. Remember, tomorrow, I'm talking about Tuesday night Sports Round coverage. 2 big games to come tomorrow. Hearts Rangers midday kick-off at Tynecastle, and that's followed by St Mirren Hibernian. That's a 2 o'clock kick-off. Here come United on that right-hand side. It's Middleton gets the break of the ball off Taylor. He goes for goal, but it's a comfortable take for Schmeichel, and he's got 4 in tangerine shirts in the box asking where the pass was. But in fairness to Glenn Middleton, when it pops up to him, and he's more than capable from that kind of distance, just inside the box, he's going to find that difficult to resist.
I'll tell you 4 people that disagree with it. 4 Dundee United players who'd bust a gut to get in there. You've got so few chances. Outnumbered Celtic in the area as well. Celtic only 3 defenders, so you're expecting the ball to get put in. It's an acute angle. He's shooting at Yesus on his left foot, but I have to say the numbers were on his side to put it in the middle there. I think that was a mistake.
Jack Walton clears. The header from Taylor is picked up by Adebayega on the far side. Fires it into the midfield, into the feet of Chevy. Gets it through to Campbell. A couple ahead of him. Alan Campbell just holding off McGregor, turning it out to Middleton on that right-hand side. Middleton with a really deep cross, looking for Christian Trapanovsky. He's not been able to keep it in play with a touch, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Celtic. United running out of time if they're going to make a fist of this.
But they are trying, I have to say. I'm quite impressed with the way they went about it in the second half. Can't blame the manager. He's made attack-minded changes. He's asked his defence to push out a little bit. They're not going to be sitting back on their own 18-yard line the way they were in the first half. So yeah, you know what they're trying to do. It's that little bit of quality in the last third that they've not shown, and it was underlined there just in the last couple of minutes. Long ball played from left to right, just too much on it. And of course the cross that we were talking about before that should have been put in, that wasn't put in.
Trying to avoid a 4th defeat in the bounce, United, but they're in a big hole. Johnny Kenny will be coming on for Celtic shortly, presumably for Ida. Here's Taylor down the left for Celtic of the United box. Low ball infield to Ida. Back to Taylor. Now Engels. Squares it for McGregor. Forward to McCowan. McCowan then rolls it low out to Nicolas Kuhn, who's at the right angle of the United box. Now he cuts across on his left side. Short ball to Engels. Ross Graham gets in the way. He's desperately trying to get rid of it. He hasn't managed to, and Taylor gets the shot away, and Walton saves low to his left. Another good bit of goalkeeping from Walton. Ralston crosses in this time. Headed away by Gallagher. Picked up by Ida. Takes a touch and shoots, and that's a wonderful goal. And it will be the killer knockout blow for sure. An outstanding finish from Adam Ida as he picked it up left-hand side of the box, and he leathers it into the top right reverse corner. It is Celtic 3, Dundee United 0. The champions romping 16 points clear, and United now facing a 4th successive defeat. It is Celtic 3, Dundee United 0.
And I just wonder if that's Ida's last touch of the ball. The possibility might be coming out here. But by the way, we have seen 2 brilliant goals today, and we've just seen an absolute stunner. The quality of goals for Celtic have been fantastic, but I don't think either of the previous ones beat that one. That is brilliant. It's almost bounced up. He's taking it, but it almost feels like a volley. Thumps into the far corner, and there is a possible check for goal. I have to say I didn't see it.
Something's happened on the edge of the box, which is what they're checking just now. So a possible foul on the edge of the box is being looked at. And the goal's been given. It's going to be 3-0. The goal's confirmed. And that was Ida's last touch because Johnny Kenny's going to replace him. And there, if ever there was one, Pat, a reminder of what someone can do ahead of a trip to the Allianz Arena on Tuesday.
You know, I was very, very impressed with him before he got his goal today because of the work rate, because he kept on doing all the right things. And he must have known he was coming off there, because you do as a player, you look across and there's a centre forward waiting there in the wings and you think, right, if I get another half a chance, I'm going to have a lever at it. And he has completely and utterly nailed that. So yeah, that's done himself a lot of favours to get a start, which he probably will get against Bayern Munich. But in all honesty, that'll be one of the best goals you see at Celtic Park this season. Well, certainly one of the best finishes.
It's a brilliant goal.
Brilliant finish.
13th of the season for Adam Ida. He's continuing his little run of goals in the team after the departure of Kyogo. Obviously Maida's been stealing the headlines as Kuhn was for much of the season. Maida now out there. Schmeichel's a little bit short with the pass out of his box, not for the first time in the last 10 minutes. Anyway, Ida's found a decent little purple patch just now. It's coming at the right time for him too, after Kyogo's departure. Maida's, as I said, stealing the headlines with his 22 goal salvo this season. And that'll do Ida's confidence the world of good, as did the double against Aston Villa and Birmingham. Ralston looks for Kuhn, who's chasing it down. Walton's committed himself, comes out of his box and clears out into the main stand.
Well done, the ball boy running for the ball. They've played it quickly, they're trying to catch the goalkeeper out, but he's back in his goal.
Well, it breaks to Maida inside the box, little back heel for Taylor, his effort's blocked. And it bounces out of play for a throw-in over on that far side for Celtic, and they're checking for a possible handball now in the wake of all that, as that was fired in, but it's been checked and the check's completed already, so...
They're purring now, aren't they, Celtic? You know, that little back heel flick there by Maeda. There was a temptation for him to have a little bit of a go from there. It was set up for him, very difficult angle, not much different from where Ida scored from, although this time the ball was on the ground. But instead of doing that, what everyone expected, he back-heeled it behind, and it led to a much, much better chance. Good little block there. I don't think he's enjoying the effects of that block on the right-hand side there.
Yeah, is it Adebayoga? He's down.
Well, he is down. Well, he's been booked.
He's just been
down.
Yeah.
He's had a hard time off a number of players today. He had Jota to deal with in the first half, and he's got Maeda in the second half. Good luck, mate.
He's on loan from Norwich, Adebayoga, young man from Dundalk.
He's done okay though.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, he's been asked more questions than anyone else because of the quality of players that he's playing against here. And you got to say that with the Jota goal, there was not much you could do, because he showed them inside into traffic, except there was no traffic there. There was nobody covering where they should have been in that inside area, purely because Schlupp had dragged everyone away with his run inside him. So he's actually done not too bad, the young man. But however hard you work, and if you're Dundee United, you've been beaten by a very, very good team today, but also by some serious quality finishes.
Babunski and Strain are coming on, so imagine Adebayoga's afternoon is done, and Chevy's coming off too. Final 2 minutes of the 90 here, Celtic 3-0 up. And they will be going 16 clear at the top of the Premiership. It is only a matter of time before they retain their title for a fourth successive season.
One of the things that Brendan Rodgers, you mentioned there, the possible number of points that's on, was it 105 you said?
Yeah.
Responsibility. He'll want to go over 100. It will be in his mind. That's, you know, I think when you bring on players like Maeda, you're thinking, he won't say it out loud, you never do, because it's, you know, that's giving yourself a real problem. If you don't get to, you get to 95, people say, oh, that's a disappointment. But he'll want it secretly.
Do you know what else he'll want? He'll want to be sub 20 goals in the goals against column, because he said that last time he was here. It was one of these little private ambitions he has. Yeah. The club record's 13, they're sitting at 12 right now. It's unrealistic to beat the record now, because they have conceded a few goals in the last month and a half, but keeping it under 20 is still realistic,
I think that's absolutely reasonable to think that would be a brilliant return. And of course, there is this style now in certain places where defenders celebrate great defensive tackles, etc., which never used to be the case. But they do celebrate their clean sheets, and you're right to do so.
Celtic have it on the left with Trusty, down the left-hand touchline Maida, midway inside the United half, little ball in field to Taylor, out to Engels, left of the United box, and he comes, has a go, it's deflected behind, and Celtic have another corner. It's going to be a minimum of 5 minutes added on at the end of this match, and we're just about to go into the first of those 5 minutes.
You know, it's slightly, I have to be honest about it, there's an awful lot of green seats here that we can see. A lot of people have left. I know the 90 minutes is up really, and there's 5 more minutes, and you're thinking to yourself, in fact I was going to say roughly 5, there is 5 more minutes, as you say.
Now, yeah.
But you know, with the quality of goals and entertainment, it's slightly surprising so many people have left.
Lap the team off, yeah. I know they like to do a little lap of honour after the matches. Celtic, as Engels gets the corner in, headed away by Graham. Back in with the head of McCowan, and now Trusty volleys at a goal and puts it wide. Stays Celtic 3, United 0. Second half stoppage time.
Liam, it would have been harsh on Dundee United with the work rate that they've had, and they've had a better second half, but they've not really created much. Do you know, arguably the best chances that Dundee United have had is when Kasper Schmeichel's looked a little bit lazy with his passing, and he's taken a few chances and he's just about got away with it. I would suggest he doesn't do that against Bayern Munich.
No, I wouldn't be doing that. Here's Trapanovsky driving down the left-hand side for United, looking for some kind of consolation. Down to the byline, as attempted ball across is blocked brilliantly by Ralston. Kuhn prevents the corner, and he's lost it to Trapanovsky, but then pinches it back immediately. And it's Kuhn with a little ball in field to Callum McGregor, who got Celtic's first. Jota got the second. Ida with the spectacular third. And now it's Daizen Maida down the left-hand side. Early ball, looking for Kenny, just a bit too much on it. Comes all the way out for a throw-in on this near side to United.
I promise you, the centre forward's not saying there's too much on it. He's saying, sorry, I didn't get there. And he should have got there, because that is another utterly brilliant ball in from left-hand side from Maeda. Wow, that's spectacularly good. I'll tell you somebody, Ida's sitting down there watching going, if I was on there, I'd have my second goal.
Celtic 3, United 0. The other matches drawing towards their conclusion as well, and County are 3-0 up now on Motherwell at Fir Park. As it is here, 3-0 Celtic. You suspect Motherwell need to get a new manager in there and get moving
very quickly. But then again, those with a little bit of history knowledge will say, yeah, you can talk. I think I left it 3 weeks before I changed managers, but then again, we had a good wee run in there, so there was no rush.
Yes, indeed. Kilmarnock 3, St Johnstone 0. Still 2-1 Aberdeen. They're trying to hold on for dear life against Dundee. It won't be a priceless win. They haven't won in 14 league games going into that one. They were ahead at half-time. First time they've led a match at the break since the 1st of December. They were 1-0 up at Tynecastle. They're still 2-1 up as Dundee look to find a late equaliser in that one. There's Arne Engels picking up for Celtic here. This game was done a long time ago. Maida trying to hold off 2 United players. He loses it, and it's picked up by Molt, who gets it down this left-hand side. A respite for the United defence with Rory Payton. Gets the ball in to the middle of the pitch for Babunski. His ball forward is cut out by McCowan. He's played 3 of the 5 that were added on at the end of the match, with Celtic leading 3-0 and United knocking it all the way back onto halfway.
There's so many subplots and stories for the Celtic team, because it has been all about them today. You know, they have been the better side, they've played well, they've scored great goals, but you know, you're watching it, the player you'd almost think you would take off first to give him a rest would be McGregor, because he's such a controlling influence, and he's not 19. He's still on this pitch. 93 minutes gone. He played the whole game the other night. He is a machine.
I think we've long since decided that Callum McGregor isn't human.
Yes, I think
the amount of games he plays, and I mean, he's on a seasonal basis. Unless he's picked up a little injury, he was out for a spell. It was last season. We had the face mask on. You know, he's 60+ matches. I mean, okay, he's chucked the international game, but still with Celtic, he's going to be playing in excess of 50 games a season.
And it's in the engine room. And by the way, he's not sitting in front of the back 4. He's controlling the game. He's getting forward. He's scoring amazing dribble goals. You know, he's very, 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 very special individual to have in your team.
United have at the edge of the Celtic box with Trapanovsky. 2 Celtic players around them. Rolled back there to Stevenson and infield to Graham in the centre circle. He gets it out to Declan Gallagher on the far side. The final 30 seconds of the match here. 3-0 Celtic. And the Celtic fans who have stayed will acclaim their favourites. Just seconds remaining. And they then, St Johnstone pull one back at Kilmarnock. They trail 3-1. Celtic will be able to focus on Bayern Munich and trying to overturn that 2-1 deficit when they go to Bavaria on Tuesday, as Nick Walsh blows for full time. As routine as it gets in the end for Celtic. A better second half from United, particularly those opening 15-20 minutes, but they just had no answer today. Callum McGregor on 23, Jota on 35 and Ida with a special goal on 84 are the difference on the day. Celtic go 16 clear, finished Celtic 3, Dundee United 0.
But for now, have a safe journey home, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hail, hail.